In 1888, the Roundhay Garden scene was made. This would come to be known as the first ever movie, or at least the first ever surviving movie, and it dictates a man riding on a horse. As time's gone on, we've had bigger and better movies throughout the ages, movies that have impacted cultures in a way we could have never expected. Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Marvel, all of those movies. But as time's gone on, we've moved to a more digital age, and we have things like Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Amazon Prime Video, Peacock. One streaming service that stands out to me among the others is the Redbox streaming service, because it has been out since before I was born. It came out in 2002, I came out in 2005, and it has managed to stay through all of time since it came out. It has stood the test of time. You could go to a Walmart near your home, go to a Circle K, any gas station. You can go anywhere, and within a 5-mile radius of where you are, there was most likely a Redbox. But what happened to Redbox? What happened to the Redbox streaming service? Because in its heyday, it was making upwards of $1 billion a year in sales. But as of recently, in 2022, the company is down to $213 million in profit, which to say isn't bad, but when they're spending $572 million, they're about making a negative profit by about double. So what happened? Redbox originally was not a movie rental service, but instead a kiosk that McDonald's had made to sell their products around stores. This was very unsuccessful, and a company of the name of Coinstar ended up buying it for about $200 million. And instead of having McDonald's products inside these kiosks, they had the bright idea to put movie rentals, with their idea being you get the movie rental for one day and you bring it back and you just put it in the box and it'd be as easy as that. And people loved it. In 2007, they made $700 million in profit. And in 2010, they had made over $1 billion. In the time of 2010 to 2011, Redbox was in its heyday, with about 68% of Americans living within a 5-minute drive of one of the Redbox kiosks, and with its sales being over 32% of all physical movies in America. Now during this time, Redbox's biggest competitor was Blockbuster, because Blockbuster was the biggest store to sell movies, and they were the biggest kiosk to sell movies. But in February of 2012, Redbox bought out Blockbuster for a whopping $100 million. Redbox was in the best shape of its life. Redbox was selling the largest numbers of movies it has ever sold in 2012, and it would continue to do so up until 2017, where Redbox would fly too close to the sun and down would come the company. While Redbox was flying high on their mighty horse, they had forgotten about one thing, that thing being the digital world. Redbox's whole idea was that they could give you a physical movie and you would physically return it the day after for a small fee. But things like Netflix, Hulu, and HBO Max were taking the world by storm at this point, and it was too late for Redbox to return. This is not to say that Redbox didn't try to get their grimy hands inside the digital world, as for in 2013 they would partner with Verizon and release Redbox Instant, which was an online video streaming service that would give you thousands of movies at your disposal. Sadly, the lineup of movies was pretty dog shit and people didn't really like it, so they stopped doing that about a year later. Following the rise of Netflix and all those other online streaming services, Redbox's sales would be down permanently. This is not to say that Redbox was down for the count though, as for in 2020, they would release Redbox Free Online TV, which had such popular channels as Redbox Spotlight, Redbox Rush and Redbox Comedy. Yeah. To say that Redbox free online TV was a failure would be an understatement. As for this would lose the company even more money than they were losing already. And in the following years, since the rise of Netflix and all those other great things, Redbox has remained. Against all odds, Redbox is still there. Maybe not in the quantity that it was or in the quality that it was, but it's still there. You could go to a gas station near you and you'll find a Redbox. You can go to a Walmart and you will find a Redbox. And I don't get it. How is it that this company, this kiosk, this Redbox in and of itself is managing to survive today? Through the pandemic, through online media, through failure, how are Redboxes still around every corner? How could I get out of this chair right now and go drive 5 minutes away and grab a movie or a game for a cheap price from a Redbox? It doesn't make sense to me. And I've sat here for a while and I've thought about it. I've really thought about why we still have Redboxes, and it clicked with me. Redboxes have the ability to do something that no other streaming service can do, online or physical, and that's speed. A movie could come out, let's say for example, Minions: The Rise of Gru, that just released recently. I can guarantee you, within a week of its release, it will be in a Redbox kiosk. Redbox has the ability to get their hands on physical copies earlier than any streaming service. And that's why it will always be immortal. Because you go to a gas station wanting a monster or a beef jerky strip, and you walk outside and you see Minions Rise of Gru for $2? You'd be scamming yourself not to get that. And that's why Redbox will always be here, and why we won't ever have to say goodbye to that beautiful big red box. I don't really know why I made this video. I just saw a red box outside of a gas station and it kind of got me pissed, because I don't know why we still need those, but like, shit, I'll turn my anger into creative freedom. Sorry that the mic is dog shit. I'm using a Logitech camera from 2004. Also, I didn't make a script or anything, so it's probably really shittily paced and short, so my fault. Happy 4th of July.